Hello, Guerschon. I'm Peter from Basketball Network. It's so great to have you here in Treviso. I would like to start with the last season of yours with the Philadelphia 76ers. So it was a kind of up and down season, married with injuries of several key players, but you had the chance to prove yourself with increased minutes, increased usage. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about the same group running it back next year, all healthy and hopefully ready to compete for a title?
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's really a blessing for me to be here. But I think the main thing for me when I decided to go back to the NBA was to enjoy this time, because the first time when it stopped, I didn't realize it stopped that fast, but when it did, it took me 5 years to come back. So I really decided, the main thing was to go over there to enjoy, to really gain on experience and, try to get better. So I was happy that, I was able to perform. Obviously, that's not the season that everybody thought we would have at the beginning of the season, because I really think that we have a big roster. But, injuries is part of the game, so you got to learn and, try to get back to it and get better. But for sure, I think, having Joel back, Paul George, this is going to be big for us. And when we had those guys and then we had that run, we was like, we felt like we could beat everybody.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting to have that part of the season, because at least people know that if they will be healthy team, that would have been a different scenario.
Yeah.
So no, it was a good season. With all the ups and downs, I was able to go out there and really experience for the first time being in the league, and this for me was a big key. And I'm glad that it turned out to be this way.
Yeah, you talked about a little bit those first 2 years with the Boston Celtics. It came by really, really quick. You didn't get a lot of minutes, a lot of opportunities, but how do what do you suggest guys that do not get the playing time needed? How do you stay sharp, focused, and ready to improve, to influence winning from the sidelines and something like that? Yeah.
Well, everybody got to understand that it's hard, first of all, even if I give you the best advice, when that day is going to come, if it comes, it's going to be hard. It's so hard because playing, I remember for myself, I was playing a lot of minutes, like I said before, in France and in China. So my whole life, I played minutes. So going for playing, let's say like 20 minutes to 0 minutes, it's a shock. So my first season I had to go through this, and it's pretty hard. And it was hard for me to find, the balance, because, mentally, because you have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Especially, I was drafted first round, 16th pick.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
I'm expecting
Expectations are high.
to play for sure. But, also it comes from having the right people around you that keep you motivated. You don't want to have somebody that asks you a question, well, you don't play. You want somebody to say, you know what, keep working, it's going to come. So, you stay patient. But it's going to be guys like that too on your group, which you can relate to them. I remember me was a couple of guys in my situation. We had Guerschon Yabusele, Daniel Tice, Shane Larkin, Abdul Nader. So, we had a couple of guys that we could, let's say, help each other on that. And then, just from going to that year to the year after that, even when it was hard, but I gained so much of experience because, I was lucky enough to be with the Celtics, and we made the conference finals 2 years in a row. So we being able to do that, you get an experience, because I was on the side, but I was watching everything, how the guys prepare to go up to this game, the other team that we're gonna play, watching videos and stuff. So being able to see that and experience that for 2 years, that helped me for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. How do you feel about rising surge of international talent, especially in the NBA, but also on the global stage? You were like toe to toe with the Americans in the Olympic finals. How do you see those growing international players and their influence on the game of basketball?
I mean, it's amazing, and we see it every year now. The EuroLeague done got better. year after year.
Yeah.
It's so much competition right now.
Yeah.
It's like you start the season and you don't even know who's going to be to the Final Four.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a couple of years back, you look, it was always the same team. And now you get surprised. For example, this season, Madrid didn't make the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody was like, oh my God, that's crazy. But if you watch the 4 teams that was there, they fought the whole season.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Paris, that was the first year in Europe.
Yeah.
You see how long they was at the top. You know, so it's just amazing. I'm glad and happy because it's so many talents that are coming out of Europe. And we talk about it too when you watch the MVPs in the NBA, it's the same thing. You know, there's a lot of European guys.
Sure.
So, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it a lot. And I think now we gain more respect for sure in the basketball game with the basketball IQ. We know that if you draft the guys that's in Europe and has been playing pro, when it's going to come to NBA, it's going to be maybe ready more than somebody that was in college. You know, so I think that we gain more chance and more opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I have just one last, but not least question.
Yeah.
The dunk on LeBron in the Olympic finals. Is that a highlight of your career so far? And did LeBron say anything to you afterward, or just like let it slide?
So, I think somebody asked me that question too before. I don't know if, of course, if we say that it's LeBron, you know, it makes it bigger, of course. But I had great dunks too in my career and great posters, you know. So it's hard for me to say this is the best one, but for sure it was at the best moment of my life. You know, this everything for me to be able to come back in the NBA, but also it's the Olympic in France. You know, so it made the action 20 times bigger than then. You know, so for sure at that time for what it's been for us and every day. I think, this was definitely one of my best.
Great. Guerschon, thanks for your time.
Thank you.